So look at page 70 at the yellow box. Once you have a rough draft of your letter, you can make changes to improve it. Here's a checklist to help you when it's time to revise. Make sure the introduction gets the reader's attention. All materials are listed before the instructions begin. The stages are in order. Enough detail is given about each step. Where could you use a more exact word? So if I always said it's fun or put in, could you change put in milk to add milk? Could you change that? If I say put in milk, put in flour, put in sugar, that's a lot of put ins, right? So where could I change it? Maybe I could change one to like add in the milk. Now put in the flour, okay? Here is where you will add the sugar. See how I changed how I worded those sentences? Even though I used added twice, I still changed the structure of that sentence. It's not put in this, put in that, put in this, right? It's changing it and making it a little bit more interesting to read. Okay? Does that make sense? Check to see where I could use a time order word. You guys did really good about using time order words to order your steps. So continue to do that. And number 7, it says, the conclusion encourages the reader to follow the instructions. All right. So remember, we're writing instructions. We want them to be in order. We want it to list our materials in our first paragraph. And we want to give enough detail. Those are our main points, okay? After Parker had drafted his letter, he shared it with Tanya. Tanya liked the topic Parker had chosen. She said that the letter, especially the ending, made her want to try making s'mores. Maybe the first sentence in the letter could be a little more interesting, though. She said, it doesn't really sound like the way you would start a friendly letter. So this is examples of how Tanya and Parker helped revise each other's paper. Tanya's giving him some good advice and asking some questions. Parker thought for a moment. Maybe I could put in another sentence about the time Jason and I made s'mores, he said. Oh, that would be good, Tanya said. I also had a question about cooking the marshmallows over the fire. How can you tell when they are done? She might know that answer, okay? She might have made s'mores before, and she knows that answer, but she's saying, if I've never made them before, I might want to know how you know that they're done, right? You might need to add a little more detail. They get all soft and kind of brown, said Parker. I'll add some details there. Tanya smiled. I'm not sure I understood the sentence that says smash the other half of the graham cracker on top. Smash makes me think of breaking it into pieces. So he used a good descriptive word of smash, right? But does he really mean to smash it? Because if you smash it, then your graham cracker is going to break, right? But he means to press. Okay? Do you see the difference between press and smash? See how she was like, that makes me think that I'm supposed to break it into a bunch of pieces, right? No, maybe I need a more exact verb. How about press? Suggested Tanya. That's perfect. Parker found some other verbs in his instructions that needed to be more exact. He changed take to slide and also checked his thesaurus to find a better word to replace put. Okay? So, when you get with your partner, you guys are going to be looking at each other's paper. And by looking at, I mean if I'm partnered with Mary, Mary's going to read me her paper. I'm going to give some advice. And then she's going to listen to me read my paper. And she's going to give me advice. Okay? If you know how to do what they are writing about. Like I said, Tanya might know how to make a s'more. Okay? Parker wrote about how to make a s'more. Tanya might know how to do that. But Tanya still asked questions, gave advice, and filled him in on suggestions she had. Okay? It's not, oh, I know how to make a s'more. I'm going to think about my paper. I wonder if I should add, is that being a good helper? No. Would that have helped Parker get a better grade on his paper? No, because guess what? We are not competing against our classmates to see who gets a better grade, right? You guys aren't supposed to share grades. So we want to help each other. We want to help each other become the best writers we can be, right? So we want to make sure we're asking them plenty of detail. We don't want to tear their paper up, right? And be like, well, that wasn't a good way to put it. But just say, I'm a little confused, or I wonder if you could change this sentence, right? So now look at 71. This is where you are going to, this is just a review of how you add and take away information, okay? So remember our proofreading marks where we add, take away, make lowercase and things like that? You guys see that? So we highlighted our lines that we skipped on our rough draft, right? You're probably going to have to write in those highlighted lines, and that's fine. Our highlighting wasn't dark enough where we won't be able to read it, okay? But when you're adding something, you need to write it in that line that you skipped. Makes sense? And after, when we write our final draft, we will not be highlighting, but you still have to skip lines, okay? So the highlighting was just to make it an easier transition for you, okay? So we're not going to read all of Parker's, but I do want us to look at his first paragraph. Dear Jason, if you'd like to try making a s'more, here's how to do it. So that's where Tanya told him, it doesn't sound like a friendly letter, right? If you just say, if you'd like to try and make a s'more, here's how to do it, it sounds like you're just writing a paper, right? She said, how would you make that sound more friendly? So he added, I'm glad you like the s'mores we had at the picnic. If you'd like to try to make a s'more, here's how to do it. You see how he changed that? It didn't take a whole lot of changing, and it was pretty quick and easy, right? And he used the proper proofreading marks. Okay? So,